Hello everyone, it's Omae and welcome back to the brand new video. Today we're going to be focusing on the 12th anniversary treasure map with no new batch teams, none of the new rare recruits or the legends, and make sure you get to 60 million points this treasure map. It's the highest the cumulative point rewards have ever gone, and you can get 25 gems, a golden key to limit break expand one of your legends, a last tap tablet, limited tickets, more gems and limit break materials, more gems, just gems out of the wazoo, at least 2 multis worth here. So make sure you do this. It is very easy this time around because the rare recruits have the same point boost as the 12th anniversary legends, 1.85x. So I will have teams using all the new rare recruits, just using the new Blackbeard and the rare recruits, etc, etc. So stay tuned for that. I also have separate videos talking about how treasure map works, the best strategies to use, how you can get to 60 million without even doing a single boss fight if you have the new emu. It's all just a lot of information. I understand as a new player it's very overwhelming, but treasure map is much easier now that they removed mini bosses. Before, you had to fight 4 mini bosses with very good speed teams, and then you'd only reach the final boss. Now you can just kind of land on the mini boss spots and they insta die. So much easier now. And of course, if you have the new boosters, the cards are going to be way better. They're going to have a higher chance of working. They're going to give you more nav levels, and it's just going to be a better rate overall. Now for the intrusion team here, don't worry about the sabo support. It is completely unnecessary. Let me just take that off for you guys. Don't worry about that. The ship can be anyone. We are using the Carrot and Wanda, who's great for this quest because there's so much special rewind. We are running Nustro. The only reason he's there is that on this intrusion, on the final boss, if you have 2 or more celestial dragons, so Emu as well as Nustro, then the top row will get max cooldown. So that allows us to use Emu again on the final stage, which is pretty nice, of course. Koala is pretty cool because we do get a 10-10 attack down on stage 2. But if we have that immunity to attack down from Koala, then we don't have to worry about that. Also, generally throughout the quest, Koala is providing damage. On stage 2, she has an attack and chain boost. And then on the final stage, on the second turn, we'll use her once again for that. So stage 1 here, just attack with Emu. The second one is a bit harder to kill because we don't have another strength unit, but that's fine. Make sure your dex units are on the bottom row because on stage 2, the bottom row units will get dex orbs. So it's essentially guaranteed matching orbs. Also for Emu, which is pretty nice. So the attack boost and chain boost will carry over here. Now what we want to do is use Emu special. That's basically all you need to do. You could also use the Carrot and Wanda special for an orb boost, but rather not. I'll explain why in a moment, because you will become their dual form, meaning on the final stage you won't be able to use their super swap, which we do want. So yeah, let's just stick with this. We have matching orbs, attack boost, massive chain, easily enough. Lucci is a beast. He is dex. All the dex units get that attack boost from Koala, which is very nice. Then on the final stage we get 4 turns of rewind to our sailors, paralysis to our captains, but we can kind of ignore that. The enemy will have a 50% damage limiter. You can only do 50% of their HP each turn. Of course, they want you to use Emu twice. Only possible if you have Emu yourself as your own captain. Otherwise, we just kill over 2 turns. We spread our damage over these 2 turns, and we have to delay the enemy. Because even though right now it's not big of a deal because Shanks is very weak at early levels of treasure map, when you get to like level 100, Shanks will just one-shot you. Maybe not that early, much later on, but also it's a bit slower to wait for the attack animation to play out. So even though the enemy won't do anything after turn 1, even if you don't delay them, it's better to delay them because later on Shanks will just straight up one-shot you, and also it's a bit slower. So what we're going to do here is we're going to super swap Carrot and Wanda, getting that attack boost, which is great. Use their special for a orb boost as well as cooldown. Now Lucci will be ready, providing us a damage reduction based attack boost. I mean, he does provide an 80% damage reduction, so you really don't need to delay, but in my opinion it's just safer. It makes the team cleaner. Use that Usopp with any Luffy support. Now at this point we can use the special of Emu again. That'll give us that last bit of cooldown we need, a chain boost and the delay from Usopp. And then we can save the second what's her face, Wanda and Carrot special for the second turn where we burst. Besides that, this is about it. And yeah, it should be fine. We still have matching orb on Emu from stage 2. So just start the chain on someone and then Emu will insta-kill. And then on the second turn here, Karen Wonder gives an orb boost, gives Koala the final turn of cooldown she needs. If you don't have Koala Limit Break expanded, then use the support of the 6+ Sabo that I showed you there at the start that I removed. And then, I mean, Nostro's just kind of there. He doesn't really do anything. Yeah, pretty useless. Just there for that cooldown to give Emu. And we have an attack boost, orb boost, chain boost. Unfortunately, the chain boundary from Emu expires. So maybe there's a way to make the team stronger, but it's still really strong on that second turn. You should be fine for sure. So that's it for the Shanks intrusion. Let's get into the final boss against Luffy, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, up against Luffy, we are using a team with Kakuluchi. Now this character is just there to provide us damage because they're not really doing anything in terms of the gimmicks, but they do provide a 3-turn attack and orb boost on stage 2, which will last until the final stage. So it just provides consistent damage throughout the quest. Of course, since we're using that legend, we can't use the Lucci PKA unit, but I'm sure some people will be happy about that. Not everyone has that Lucci, especially if you started during 12th anniversary. So we are using Vegapunk here. Make sure he has his triple special launch maxed. Besides that, it should be fine. Stage 1 is very important. Use Lucci special. This will get them into the deal form. So when the enemy gives themselves a damage reduction or a threshold on stage 2, Lucci will give us an attack and orb boost. If they're in their singular form, they'll only give an attack boost or only an orb boost. So definitely for damage, keep them in their dual form, right? Now here we can just use Emu special to remove the enemy buffs. Technically it's not necessary because Lucci and Kaku removes the or weakens the threshold and the damage reduction, and then you could just use Shiryu for the defense up. But also just to get around the chain minimum attack down, it's better to just use Emu straight up. Although to be honest, what you could do is just use Lucci and Kaku on stage 2. Yes, the damage reduction or the threshold won't get removed, but you could just use a support ability for that and then save Emu for the final stage. Just food for thought, but honestly the team works fine without that, so let's not worry about alternative realities, right? Bro, I'm going crazy. This treasure map, it's pretty fun. I think this treasure map is not too difficult, even though there's an annoying damage limiter which does slow down people who don't have Emu quite dramatically, and just make team building a lot harder because you have to spread out that damage. But overall, it's pretty easy and fun treasure map. Now, Carrot and Wanda, Nami and Carrot, very important. Their swap removes their own special bind, all 10 turns of it. Then the special removes most of the bind and a decent amount of the special bind. The Luffy support and the Pedro support. This Pedro can be available in the PKA ticket shop, and then Lafitte is a very common rare recruit. We need that Lafitte just to get around all turns of the despair, but if you don't have Lafitte, you could just use any shop to reduce despair by 1 turn. Just saying. Now Vegapunk, it is three launches of the special, which is a bit slow, but he's one of the fastest special animations, so it's very, very quick. And then at this point we can just use Shiryu for a target lock. Kind of unnecessary, but you can if you want to. And then Emu will one-shot. Very, very nice, right? So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about these teams, ask me down below. I'm always open to looking for replacements. A lot of these units aren't doing anything too crucial. The only characters that I would say are essential and irreplaceable are Kobe and Nami and Carrot on this team. On the other team as well, people are replaceable, so definitely ask me. I will have a replacement, right? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. And I'm out.